I sew very close and tight. So it makes your wigs last longer. It also allow your wigs to lay flatter without it buckling, your tracks buckling and your wig feeling bunched up in the back. Like I always say, you want your wig to just be as flat and tight as possible, literally. Like you do not want a bunched up wig. It doesn't feel good when your wig is bunching in the back. So just try to take your time. Sew as close as you can. If you know how to use the sewing machine, use the sewing machine. I do recommend when you're using a sewing machine to go up at least 2.5 inches with my technique. But you know, once you do that, if you feel like you need to go up more after your experience with it, then go up a little more inches. But you'll get the feel for it because you already used the sewing machine. If you are one of those students that currently sew on the sewing machine. It's no pressure if you don't. You can hand stitch. Just try to make it, like I said, as neat as possible. Okay. And I do cut my wefts. I know that some people don't, but I do cut mine. Alright, so now I have the stitch in nice, flat, tight, and close. I am going to continue to sew this. I will be back styling this and then removing the unit from underneath here so that we can do the hidden stitch here, style it, and that will conclude the 7x7 closure video. Okay, I'll be back, guys. Okay, so we're done. This is the 7x7 closure unit. All the tracks have been sewn onto it. I'm going to remove it from this head so that I took most of the T-pins out. I still have 2 in the back. But this is it. It is all stitched up, all done. All we have left now is that side that I showed you guys. So remember the side where I said you do not stitch the regular stitch because a hidden stitch go there. So you now want to take this is that side with that tab, right? You want to take this and you want to take the tab, line it up against each other like this. Like this here. That's the tab, okay? And that's the front part. You want to line that up against each other like that. Open a piece of here, and now it's time for your hidden stitch. And most of you in my tier 2, you are in my tier 3 for the frontal, so you know the hidden stitch. But for those of you who aren't, just pay close attention. I'm gonna come very close. I'm using this thin thread. I have sent the link in Google Classroom on Amazon. I got it from Amazon. I'm gonna thread it. And we're just gonna do the hidden stitch. So once again, that is this part that we did not sew with the tab. You bring it together and it lines right up. It actually lines right up for you, like that. You're just leaving a little piece of here in front of it, like that. Okay? Now that you have that, you're gonna take this and you're gonna start your hidden stitch. When you start your hidden stitch, you're gonna start, so awkward because you have to do it in your hand. You're gonna start your stitch about right here at the edge of the material. You're gonna come in this way, on the edge of the material. You go in. Let me zoom out so that you guys can see that. So you go in, right? Then you come back out this way. So you're going in and out with this hidden stitch. Come close. Like when you go in and out, try to get it as close as possible, just so that the thread doesn't show. But you're going in and out, see? Now you're going out. And I'll upload a separate invisible stitch of the tab video for those who are not in the frontal class, because it may be difficult for you to see this way. Okay. So now you're just going in and out with this. This tab and the edge of the closure lines right up with each other. So that you can just go in and out. I'm just going in and out all the way to that ending piece, and I'm gonna show you. So if you haven't done this before, I advise you to not do your hidden stitch until after watching me, then do it. Don't try to do it with me. Just watch me, because once I finish, I'm going to show you so that you can see and get a better idea of it. Now I'm at the edge, so I'm just double knotting it so I can cut it. And this is what it looks like in the inside. So that part that's going to be versatile, I started here and I just went around to the back of right here. And like I said, it's a hidden stitch. So you want to go in and out. In this way, out through the lace. And when you look on the outside, this is how it should look on the outside. You cannot tell that the tab is under there. Okay? See that? And you cut the little thread from in front of there. And now that we have that out the way, this concludes the 7x7 closure unit. But I am gonna just show you guys briefly how I'm gonna style this unit. Right here, we're gonna do this together. I am gonna do the hairline with you guys and some of the curls in the front. It's just gonna be some big bouncy curls. So I'm gonna put the straps in. I'm gonna put it on the head. Strap. Okay, the strap is in. Just gonna put that back on the head, pull it back down in the back, bring it back. She is doing a side part, a deep side part, and like I said, this was already plugged and tinted. Excuse me. So she's doing a deep side part. I cannot find my skinny comb. I don't know, I usually use a skinny tail comb. But she's doing a deep side part. Oh, and by the way, guys, this closure is nice and flat. It comes so far back, but the unit is nice, flat, and tight. So I will put it on once I'm done with the styling and just show you guys. But let me just get to the styling of this. Okay. So like I said, she's doing a deep side part. I'm just gonna part it there. I'm gonna clip some of this out my way. For cutting the lace on this, I'm gonna show you the way I cut the lace here so that it looks natural. And I'm just gonna take my little eyebrow razor comb. Well, not comb, but eyebrow razor thingy. Move the hairs back that were I already cut into it. And I'm gonna kind of like I'm combing it off, just so it gives it like a jagged cut and it's not a straight across hairline, and that makes it look more realistic. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing across here. Move those hairs back, and I'm just giving it jagged, like I'm combing it. Okay, same here. Oh, and let me just show you this part. So you see the closure comes all the way over here, but there are wefts on that tab over here. That's 2 wefts on it, but the closure comes really far over. So this is a really big closure. So just gonna do that little cut to cut that lace off, right? Okay, so now we have the lace off. Now, the first thing I like to do is get my hairline mold it before I even do my curls. So that's why I clip this part out the way. The way I'm gonna have this style is gonna be like this part here is gonna come back off the face, while this is gonna have that deep swoop with that hump, and the curls are gonna come over. So for me to get my hair like that, I always use heat to mold. I do not use a straightening comb. I use my barrel. So like I said, I have it parted for my side part. I'm gonna take some heat and I'm gonna put it in the middle. I mean, on the part area, just to get it molded out, you know, molded in the part area the way I want it. Mold that over to that side. Okay, so now I have it flat right there in the part area. Okay, so I'm also going to take my Nourish and Shine, which you guys know from watching the other closure video. I love my Nourish and Shine for my hairline. I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand. It's going to melt fast, so I'll move a little fast. And because I'm doing that kind of coming back off the face, I'm going to bring the hairline, the hairs that I want down that I had already cut into it, as you can see them. I'm going to let them lay down in the front, right? I'm going to just let them kind of just lay in the front like this. This part here I want to come to the back, so I'm going to bring that to the back. So that's how I want that hairline. I'm just going to put the heat coming back this way off the hairline. Just to separate that. Now I'm gonna start opening this side, and I'm gonna start molding coming back so I can get a really nice, flat, natural layback here. You guys know I love my units nice and molded, really nice. So you see how I molded coming back this way. So you wanna mold coming back this way. Okay. Okay. Mold that coming back this way. And once I get closer to the front, that's when I start to put Nourish and Shine. I don't like to put it all the way through because you just don't want to weigh it down or make it too oily. But when you get closer to the front, you want that really, really molded. So that's when I start with the Nourish and Shine. What's that? Just still opening it, bringing this back for that nice flat mold. Okay. Now we add that piece right in the front before the hairline. Before the little hairs that are cut into it. And as you know, Well, yeah, you do from the other closure videos. This part here, this front part, you mold down. And this is all in the comb and in your fingers. So how you want this to lay is all about how you comb it back into the unit. And you know, I usually use a tail comb, just cannot find my tail comb. And comb it back into it nice. I want it to look like, not so much as baby hair, just like natural hairs in the front. So I'm just giving it a nice comb back. This. And that tab, guys, is under here. That tab is under here, but it's hidden. So that's the purpose of sewing that tab with an invisible stitch. So it could be hidden. And you notice that this side is given the illusion of a frontal, even though it's not a frontal. This side is given the illusion of a frontal. That's the point of making the 7x7 closure versatile on one side. So just creating a little bump for that. So now we have this side. This side is molded. Now we're gonna mold for this side. And this side we don't have to go all in here like this and bring it back, because I only want this part to come back and that part to fall over. So I'll mold just the front part back and everything else will be molded going down. Okay? So I'll start out with this little front part, these little hairs right in the front. And some of them are still a bit long, so I'll cut them down a little bit with my razor comb. And remember, I just like to glide, just so it leaves like natural baby hairs. I don't like to just make a sharp cut. Just want to glide. Gonna take the Nourish and Shine that's on the back of my hand, put some here and here. Okay. Gonna mold that. Ooh. Gonna mold that coming down this way. And we're gonna mold this part to the back. But when you mold that part to the back, as you're molding it to the back, kind of put the heat on it and bring the hair over, like let it bend onto it. That's what creates that hump in the front. And that's what I want for that part. I want that hump right there. So while I have this part like this, I'm gonna just take the comb. I'll use the comb to the end of my razor comb. I'm gonna take the comb and mold my hairs back into the unit the way I want it. Remember, take your time with this. It's all in your hands and in the comb, the way you want the hairs to be in the front. Okay? Look at that. Look how nice and natural that looks. And you'll really see it when I try it on, but you see how I created the hairline that I wanted, how I wanted to look. So you can literally create your hairlines however you want them. Just remember that you're in control of the hair. The hair does not control you. You control it. And you can get it to behave pretty much how you want it. And just take your time. Don't rush through it. Just take your time and create. Look at how this is even laying on to the canvas head, these little natural hairs. And you just, like I said, just take your time. And That is how I want that part. And now, and the inside of that part, like I said, I just want that flat. I just want the hump here. So I'm gonna, of course, go into this side of the closure. And the closure stops about right here. So I'm gonna just start going in from right here. Put the clip. And I am just gonna be molding this coming down. Just molding it coming down like this. Same here. Just gonna mold it. And your front part will still have that hump right there. Just try not to touch it, even though you can put the hump back, which I always go back and do. But just try not to even bother it. You're just trying to get this to train itself, just to lay flat in there. So, so you see I'm just molding this part flat because we're closer to the top. Oh, I'm so mad I cannot find my little tiny tail combs. So I just pretty much part in sections and put heat in each section just to make it flat and mold it to how I want it. Because I love for my units to be very flat, very natural. Oh, this came out. Okay, so I have it all molded the way I want it. I'm gonna put the hump back after I do the curls, even though it's still there pretty much. But now the hairline is molded, you guys. Now I'm gonna show you how to get some nice voluptuous curls in about, take about 20-25 minutes. We're gonna get some nice big pretty curls, and that'll be it for this unit. I'm using my Verb Ghost Oil, just a little bit in my hand, 2 puffs. And I'm gonna go through the hair with this. It's a lot of hair. This is actually 3.5 bundles, 22-inch body wave, and then the 7x7 closure. You guys saw that I had doubled the wefts already.